Hello. You may be wondering to yourself, Trevor, why are you in a Spider-Man costume and what is this stack of books you got here? As you may know, I put up a poll that asked you guys what kind of videos you want to see. And Kai, being the most supportive person on this channel, shout out to Papa Cringe. He said that he would really want me to do a comic book video. And I couldn't really think of what I wanted to do for a comic book video. And so I just decided that I'm going to do a bunch of book recommendations. Now, these are a ton of comics, and they are... First thing you should know about comics when you're getting into them is they are pretty expensive, but they're actually like really solid stories. Like, don't diss them for being childish or whatnot. They're pretty solid. I got a couple... I got like 9 here that I'm gonna really recommend. I'm gonna start off with some of the ones I actually don't own, but I've read a ton of. First off, I really only read DC and a little bit outside of DC. I'm not a super huge Marvel Comics fan, and probably that's because I haven't found something super good to get into. But I have found something that I really do enjoy, and I think everybody should read. For the most part, well, I should probably just tell you. It's Ultimate Spider-Man. I think everybody should read the Ultimate Spider-Man if that's what you're getting into. Because if you want to get into Marvel, read the Ultimate Spider-Man. Because most people know Spider-Man, right? And most people know Bitten by a Spider, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. But Ultimate Spider-Man kind of takes like a little twist on it and does something really unique with the character, which is really fun and refreshing and can get you into wanting to read more of those comics. And then eventually Miles Morales is introduced, which is super good. I have that one somewhere, but just not here at college with me, so unfortunate. Now we're gonna get into these books. So, if you were like me, you might be thinking to yourself, Trevor, I see 2 Superman comic books, and you're right. Because Superman's the fucking GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. He's literally the superhero. And you might be thinking to yourself, Trevor, Superman's boring. He's not. He's not. He's OP. He's gonna win. Yes, that's not what Superman's about, though. Superman is so much more than that. And I think that is perfectly illustrated in this book, All-Star Superman. If you're anything like me and you watch a lot of people talk about comic books and recommend comic books, this is always a recommend. I always see people recommend All-Star Superman. I'm going to talk about it a little bit, not a whole lot, but it's a great story. Superman's dying. That's really all you need to know. And it's wonderful. It's an amazing story. And it's just fucking awesome. Art's by Grant Morrison, or it's written by Grant Morrison, and the art is just beautiful in it. Like, I have the hardback edition, but it's so fun. It's such a fun adventure. So there's All-Star Superman. Now, another Superman comic that you might want to read that I really enjoyed is Superman Red and Blue. It's not a cohesive story like All-Star Superman is. It's a bunch of different stories that show what Superman is and what he represents, and I think that is amazing. The art style changes in different comics, and it's different stories written by different people, and I just think it's wonderful. It's a really good, really, really solid read. Let's see the inside. Some of it it's just so good. It's just a really good read. I love it a lot. and I would definitely, I always see people talk about Superman recommendations, and I do not think this book is talked about enough. So there's that. Now we're gonna talk about my gateway comic. Was Nightwing. Now Nightwing has always been a soft spot for me. If I'm gonna recommend you a comic book and you're somewhat into like nerd stuff like superheroes, I'm gonna say read whatever hero you like. If you like Spider-Man, read the Ultimate Spider-Man. If you like Red Hood, read the Outlaws. Just if you like Batman, I have a Batman recommendation in here. I don't know why I'm going over that. But if my person that I really enjoyed that I just didn't really know a whole lot about was Nightwing. Always a fan of Robin. Like I watched ever since I watched Teen Titans as a kid. Robin's my favorite, and that first Robin's Dick Grayson, and I just always loved that. And Nightwing is a really good run actually, and I think it's actually a really good spot if you want to jump into newer comics. Nightwing is kind of like the center of DC right now, so it's written by Tom Taylor, and he is just killing it in DC right now. He's been writing a ton of stuff for them, and has just been killing it lately. And Nightwing, really high recommendation. I haven't got the second volume of this, but I really need to. Now on to my Batman recommendation, because I feel like everybody wants to read a Batman comic. So my Batman recommendation is Batman Year One. It's super good. It's actually super like short. It's so much shorter than what I thought it was, but it is such a good story. It follows Jim Gordon and Batman, and that's what I've wanted from just anything in general. Jim Gordon Batman dynamic is wonderful in my mind, and this book is that, and it's just wonderful. And it's about Batman's first year as Batman, so it's pretty good. It's really fun read. I really enjoyed it. Kai actually read this one, and Kai said he liked it, so there you go. Now, if you want to get in some edgelord stuff, if you're a fan of The Boys, or if you're a fan of like violent superheroes like Injustice, I'm gonna say read Watchmen. Now, Watchmen is it has a purpose. It has a purpose that's overlooked quite a bit. And it's written by Alan Moore, who's like credited with writing a ton of dark comics. But notably, he's noted in writing The Killing Joke, which is a Batman comic. And Barbara Gordon gets shot in it. It's super dark and whatever. Batman apparently kills the Joker at the end. Maybe not, whatever. But he said he actually really regrets that, and he regrets writing a lot of dark superheroes. But this comic book is a satirical book. It's about comic books. It's about how they shouldn't be dark, and about how it shouldn't be this. This shouldn't be what our superheroes are. And it's illustrated in that line at the very end of the book when a reporter says, "I leave it in your hands." And that's a message from Alan Moore to the readers, and says, "I'm leaving comic books in your hands, in hopes that you write hopeful stories, wonderful stories, and not this." So there's that. Another one I'm going to recommend to you that I'm not going to talk a whole lot about because I haven't finished it yet is V for Vendetta. You've watched the movie. Movie's pretty solid. Haven't finished it either, but I know it takes place around the French Revolution, so that's pretty cool. I dig the French Revolution, so There's definitely that. Now, if you might not be into Marvel or DC, and you say, I don't want to read anything about Superman, I don't want to read about Spider-Man, I don't want to read about Captain America, Batman, well, that's just not my vibe. Okay, I have books for that too. Hellboy is such a fun book. It is wonderfully just fun. It is, I really don't know. It's weird, it's fun, it's just, everything about this is wonderful, and I love Hellboy. It is so weirdly interesting, and I just really can't get over it. I know I've said it's weird, but it's just, it's fun. It really is fun. It's a fun book to read, and it's really fun learning about Hellboy, and I really, really, really want to read the rest of this, because I finished this in like a day. This was just such a good read that I just was like, went right through it. Plus, it's got a very beautiful art style. The art in this is just wonderful, and I'm just absolutely in love with it. So yeah, there's Hellboy. And if you say, Trevor, not really into supernatural stuff, I got you. Now, this is a very big book, but I am gonna recommend this series till the day I die. I need to get the other two compendiums of this, because it is gonna drive me insane, because Invincible is so good. If you watch the show is, where does the show end? Let's see. Season 1 ends about right here. It is not much of the book. It is so fun. It's such a weird adventure, and it's just so fun. Mark is just, he's wonderful protagonist, and it's just such a good book. It really is. It tackles so much, and it's so fun. It's, imagine if Spider-Man and Dick Grayson got mashed into one character and had Superman's powers, and that is this, and I love it so much. It's wonderful. Anyways, get over me doing that. Now, to go to my second comic book I ever bought, and probably my favorite comic book, is Mr. Miracle. Now, if you're into comics, you know this book. If you're not into comics, you may be asking yourself, who the fuck is Mr. Miracle? Well, Mr. Miracle is the son of the Allfather, the High Father. I don't remember what his name was. And okay, basically in the beginning, there was one, like, Earth, right? And they got split into two Earths. One that's full of peace and love and all this, and one that's full of torture and pain and all this. This is called New Genesis. This is called Apocalypse, right? New Genesis is ruled by the All-Father, and you may know Apocalypse being ruled by Darkseid. Darkseid, and them, being opposites of each other, had beef with each other. So they went into war, and then the war didn't stop, and then the High Father and Darkseid had kids around the same time, and they were like, we trade kids, war's over. Cool. They trade kids. Mr. Miracle is the son of the High Father that was traded to Darkseid. So he grew up on Apocalypse and had a miserable childhood and tried so hard to escape when he was nicknamed Scott Free because he never got scot free, and that was the only name that he knew. He eventually escaped, came to Earth, became a superhero, all that jazz, but that's not what this book is about. That's all summed up in like the first couple pages. This book is about trauma. It is a very depressing book. It's very much, it tackles mental health and about responsibility and your legacy and family. It's such a good book. I cannot recommend this more. Is Mr. Miracle my favorite superhero? No. Is this book my favorite comic book? Absolutely. It is hands down better than well, I want to say it's better than all of them, but it is my favorite. I do love this book so much. I just love it. It's, yeah, this quote right here, heartbreaking, funny, and human. It's all a classic in the making, says Wired. I agree. It's wonderful, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's just awesome. The art style, super good. Love the art style. It introduces some characters that I never really knew about, but now I know about them. And so that's it for my comic book recommendation video. If you want some more, like, if you want me to go into details about any of these books, if you want me to talk more about comic book recommendations, or because I have some more recommendations I could give out, but I don't want to make the video super long. So if you guys really enjoyed that, let me know in the comments below, like, what you would like. You want me to go into detail about any of these books, or do you want me to, I don't know. There's a lot we could do with these books, and I have more. I have a ton more, actually, but yeah, you guys let me know. Thank you for watching all the way through, actually. Didn't think that anybody would, so thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're not, actually, because I saw that, I checked my YouTube thing and it said that like 96% of you aren't subscribed that watch my videos. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Comic books, yeah.